Hello everyone, good day. Nice to meet you once again with Wise Crypto. So stay tuned. Hey Mark and Ku, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep, I can hear you too.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for having here. So I think we can start, if you're ready then. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for having here. And this is Wise Crypto, your favorite crypto space. And today we'll discuss more about the clone protocol. And for that, here is our honorable guest, Mark and Ku. First of all, sir, could you please introduce yourself one by one, and also could you say some of your experience in crypto space?
Yeah, I can start. So, my name is Mark. Joined the crypto space, kind of toward the beginning, but Clone is kind of the first project I've worked on full time, both as a founder and just in my full time work experience. I founded the protocol of Q, and kind of set out leading the smart contract development. Yeah, Q, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, right? Mark and I started Clone Protocol when we saw a deep-rooted problem in the synthetic asset space. We really wanted to solve this, capital efficiency issue, the user experience issue, to kind of finally be able to design a protocol that will bring mass adoption to what synthetic assets are. So in the end of the day, after really almost a full year of R&D, we were able to create the the clone protocol we have today, that we think is ready for mass adoption.
Okay, so could you say what is clone and also what is the mission in crypto?
Yeah, so just like Ku mentioned, our main mission going into kind of starting to work on Clone was to solve a problem that we noticed in the synthetic asset space in DeFi. So when we first got started, Synthetics was still kind of running full steam with all their synthetic assets, as well as Mirror was still in its circulation and kind of thriving when we kind of got into our initial research phase. And we kind of noticed just a few issues that was kind of leaving a stain on the synthetic asset space. We thought synthetic assets in DeFi has just so much potential, but they just weren't realizing that potential because of problems, like Ku said, with liquidity efficiency, capital efficiency, as well as just overall scalability. So synthetics specifically kind of pioneered what they call the debt pool model. Also brought to Solana by Synthetify. That model does really well in having synthetic assets with really strong price pegs, but because of large over collateral requirements, the liquidity efficiency is very low, and it's very hard to scale to new markets, which obviously, in order to have a successful synthetic assets exchange, you need to be able to scale rapidly to new markets and support lots of different assets. So that we saw that as just a really large barrier for them and something that kind of needed to be improved upon. And then obviously, Mirror has had its own problems, but at the time, what we noticed the most was their problem with price pegging. And you kind of look back at screenshots, many of their assets had 15, 20% inflated prices because although their mechanism was better at allowing for more markets, it was actually worse at supporting a strong price peg for their tokens. So basically, what we tried to accomplish was to basically capitalize on some of the principles we learned from Uniswap v3 in their concentrated liquidity their concentrated liquidity system to try to improve the efficiency of synthetic assets, create a more scalable exchange that could still support really strong price pegs. And it took a while, but yeah, we feel like we found that model, and that's kind of what we're looking to bring to DeFi and to put onto Solana specifically. Anything to add to that, Ku?
No, I think you covered it all very well.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for describing that actually. And also, people to know more, you can check out their all kind of social link, and also you can visit their website as well as. So, as you mentioned, like you have some kind of asset. Could you say what are your clone asset actually, and also What are the advantages over the synthetic asset actually?
Yeah, so on Clone, we've been kind of talking about synthetic assets already a bit, but we like to call our assets cloned assets instead of synthetic assets. The reason we want to do this is because there are some niche differences between our cloned assets and what you guys probably traditionally see as what a synthetic asset is. So there's a lot of similarities and that our tokens are synthetic in nature and are designed to reflect the asset of prices that we're getting from oracles that could be on different chains. But one small requirement that differentiates cloned assets and synthetic assets is that we actually need an underlying token in circulation in order to list the new token. So basically, we the benefits, I would say, if you were to compare our cloned assets to traditional synthetic assets, is that the liquidity is just unmatched. So we are able to create and add new types of tokens in new markets for new cloned assets with very little capital requirement. So that's a huge advantage. It will allow us to expand to as many markets as we can possibly add very quickly. And in order to have a synthetic asset exchange that's truly um, ready for mass adoption, we believe scalability is the number one concern. So we think that's kind of our main benefit. Another benefit is really strong price pegging. And then one, I would say, if there had to be a knock on our platform, it would be that we have a barrier to listing new assets. Again, which is there must be a token that has that that reflects the same price we're trying to reflect in circulation. And the reason for that is our pegging mechanism, which I can get more into later in this call. But generally, the idea is that if our price pegs are ever misaligned with between our cloned assets and the real world prices, users will be able to use these other underlying tokens that may exist on Solana, may exist on ETH, Arbitrum, literally anything, bridge them over and use them to mint other synthetic or other cloned asset tokens, and that will fix the price and allow for arbitrage. So yeah, that I guess would be the only knock, but it helps us maintain price pegging while also supporting really hyper efficient concentrated liquidity positions that we call comets.
Okay, yeah, thank you, sir, for the great explanation, actually. So, like, as far I know, every project has their own native token. So do you have any native token? If yes, like, could you say some of the utilities?
Yep, token will be part of our ecosystem. We Most of the DeFi protocols will. Its token is not really the highest priority item for us, as we're more focused on trying to solve the I guess the problems that we have been mentioning and just in this Twitter Spaces. Um, but once we do find the user base, really enjoying our protocol, and we can see that there's, I guess, a level of product market fit, we do plan to launch the token in our mainnet. So that's definitely something to keep in mind.
To add to that, our token that when we do launch our token, it'll have kind of one main utility as well as kind of various other small perks that you'll receive. But the main one is going to be discounted trading fees. So this may happen immediately at mainnet launch, or slightly after. But the idea is that the more clone token that you hold, the cheaper trading fees you have, which can help you arb, it can help you trade if you're an active user. So yeah, there'll be benefits such as that you will also receive in the future.
Okay, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for that. And also, I saw in your website, like you have your clone markets, and also you mentioned people will be able to trade with confidence in your market. So, could you say, like, how can people can do trade in your marketplace with very confidence regarding security and other aspects?
Good question. That's a really good question. So I think that it's an interesting question because from the trading perspective, our exchange actually works very much like any other kind of AMM based exchange. If you guys aren't super highly technical, AMM just stands for automatic market maker, and the traditional way that those work is that the price is kind of determined by the ratio of two pools of assets, kind of the ratio of the amount of tokens that are held in those pools determines their price, and then if you buy from one pool, it changes the ratio and therefore changes the price. So that same idea is applied for traders on Clone. So trading on Clone from the trader's perspective, I would say is just like trading on any other basic exchange like or DeFi exchange like Uniswap. But one main difference in terms of how our AMMs work, we actually call our AMMs on AMMs, and what sets them apart from regular AMMs is that much of the liquidity isn't actually tokens locked up in pools. What we do is like I've kind of been mentioning these hyper efficient like leveraged liquidity positions. So I think this is a good opportunity to kind of explain a little bit more about how those work. Um, those types of positions are called comets. They're the only type of liquidity position on our platform. And how they work is users kind of deposit collateral into Clone and then determine an amount of liquidity in USD that they want to contribute to the protocol. And basically, that means that they could provide more liquidity, a lot more liquidity in USD than the amount of collateral that they're providing on the back end. And what allows them to do that is our liquidation mechanism. So essentially, every comet is reflected by a health score. And the health score is, if the health score ever reaches zero, then the position is subject to liquidation. And what the health score is meant to do is if a user is improperly managing their liquidity position, their comet, let's say that they only put in a little collateral and they put in a lot of liquidity and they weren't really updating the position. What could happen is their health score could drop to zero and they could get liquidated and obviously lose kind of a portion of their collateral. And that's kind of and that mechanism allows us to support deep liquidity with low capital requirements. And then our AMMs actively deploy that liquidity from those comets at whatever the Oracle price is that we're getting from, at least for now, Pyth. So if from Pyth we get that the Oracle price for, let's say, Solana is, let's say, $30, then all that liquidity when a trade is made gets immediately kind of deployed at that price, as well as whatever kind of the overall user sentiment is. After that point, the trade kind of mimics a regular exchange trade. So again, the liquidity system's a little complicated, but all you really need to know is that it helps us support really hyper efficient liquidity positions that we call comets. And then from a trading perspective, it's very simple because we do all this kind of complicated math in the smart contracts directly. We try to make it from the trading side just look like a really traditional, really intuitive trading experience. So that's why we try to kind of have the best of both worlds in a really kind of deep, complex, and efficient liquidity system supported. And then we also support for trading a really intuitive, easy to use, easy to understand interface. So yeah, I guess those are kind of our goals in our front ends. And just in case it wasn't clear, we have two front ends on DevNet right now, and this will also be on mainnet. Clone markets, which the question was about, is specifically for trading, and then clone liquidity is specifically for creating those liquidity positions called comets that I was talking about.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Got it. So do you want to add something on that, Cool?
Oh no, I was just gonna mention Mark did cover most of the things. I think another important thing that like to highlight is that user experience has always been a big priority for us. Oftentimes when it came to a drawing board, when we're designing this protocol, uh, we kind of really started from a user's perspective and not just like a degen user, but like a novice crypto user who may not be so familiar with how crypto really works. And we try to really think from their perspective when we're designing kind of the market's trading experience, right? And then, of course, if there was any need, we had to adjust how liquidity platform works so that we can make sure that the trading experience is as smooth and is as, flawless as possible. So I guess something that we have to mention is on the DevNet, the the main, I guess, stable coin that we allow users to use is called DevNet USD. It's basically just a fake, right, USD token that we have created for the DevNet trading purposes. But for mainnet, all of that is just going to be USDC, right? So anyone in their wallet can hold their USDC, come in, make a trade, and own on USD. That's going to be as we mentioned, very well pegged, deep liquidity, and some of these assets that you rarely find on Solana ecosystem, right? So yeah, that's really the benefit and I guess priority that I really wanted to mention.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. And also, guys, like you can earn the passive income through the fees collected from the trading activities. So you can connect, you can join actually. So as you mentioned a little bit about your liquidity, so I can say liquidity is where anyone can unlock their power of their protocol by providing the liquidity on asset pools, and also by contributing to the liquidity pools. Actually, you will be able to earn. So, sir, could you say more about your like clone liquidity, and also how can people initialize their user account on that, and also if they do, what kind of advantages or benefits they will get?
Yeah, so basically as far as initializing a user account goes, which by the way is only necessary if you want to be a liquidity provider on Clone Liquidity. You don't need an account or anything to start trading on markets. That can just happen immediately. But assuming you're interested in exploring our Comet Liquidity System and our kind of leverage our novice or novel law solution to synthetic liquidity, um you can basically create an account just by going to Clone Liquidity, connecting a new wallet, and you'll get a message that prompts you to spend a very small amount of SOL to initialize your user account, less than about a quarter SOL. And once you kind of pay that small rent fee, you're immediately set up automatically with all of the tools you need to kind of start using Clone Liquidity. As for what it actually looks like to kind of start creating one of these compositions, I think at first it can often be our goal was to make it as clear as possible, but it's a very new concept, kind of being able to provide collateral and leverage your liquidity in pools, because when people kind of traditionally think of providing a liquidity to a pool, they think, oh, I have to provide equal amount of both assets in the pool in order for my liquidity position to work. And that's usually true because most pools reflect basically the prices of two real world or two actual physical tokens compared to one another. But the difference with Clone, because of the synthetic nature of our on assets, is we have a lot more freedom. We can like mint these assets, or we can mint them on demand when the trades are executed. So basically, you there's no need for you to get on asset like from either from trading or from minting in order to provide liquidity. It's actually even easier than providing liquidity on a regular exchange, because all you need is USDC. So you come to Clone with USDC, deposit some collateral, and immediately you can start providing liquidity. Now, the amount of liquidity you want to provide to each pool, um, for a Comet, just to be clear, when you do provide collateral, you're now able to provide liquidity to multiple pools at the same time. And that one collateral source is kind of backing the liquidity that you're providing across all of these different pools. Again, all of this is reflected by a health score. That if the health score goes to zero, you get liquidated. It's basically up to your risk tolerance how much liquidity you want to provide. You can provide enough liquidity so that you have a very low health score, and you can try to be a very active manager of the position. One good way to kind of make sure your position stays healthy is to kind of continuously pay off some of your debts that'll accumulate as the prices of the assets move for the pools you provide to. But I don't need to get into the specifics. All you guys need to know is it's really easy to get started on Clone Liquidity, just kind of a push of a button. It's really easy to start providing liquidity because all you need to bring is just USDC as collateral. And then at that point, you can provide as much liquidity to any pool as possible without paying any SOL or bringing any new assets, as long as you're properly maintaining those positions and keeping your health score above 0.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. And also, people, if you have any more question, you can ask through this email. Just get ready for that. So could you say some of your like future plan in 2023, like last part of the 2023, and also after that in 2024, like anything new is going to be coming?
Yeah, so I can speak to kind of our development timeline, no problem. First off, we've already launched DevNet. If you haven't had a chance to check out our DevNet product, I would highly recommend it. Our goal was to make the UI as flexible and intuitive as possible. So, but in that, we think for markets, we most certainly accomplished that, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But even more so for Clone Liquidity, because it's such a new kind of mechanism that nobody's ever really attempted. We just think that user feedback is so valuable at this stage, and anyone who can kind of help us improve that experience, make anything more clear that may not be, because obviously we're the ones who built this platform and most people haven't heard of the structure. Again, it just means a lot to us. So if you guys could check that out and give us some feedback in the Discord, that would be really great. But moving forward from DevNet, there's a few updates that we need to make. Clone Liquidity will be receiving kind of a design rehaul, a slight design rehaul, but some big changes are kind of coming in the future, as well as some additional functionality for Comet managing. So that's kind of the next step. We're also kind of about to start an audit with Halborn, who we think is amazing, and that audit will kind of solidify our ability to then progress to mainnet. So once the audit's complete and we've kind of rolled out these last features on DevNet and gotten some feedback on that, we'll immediately be looking toward mainnet. And because of our capital efficiency and low capital requirements, we think we should be able to get to that point relatively effectively with what we have. So I basically what our users can expect is mainnet launch to come before the end of 2023. But our ambitious timeline can beat that slightly. We just need a little bit more time to complete the audit and get kind of to the point where it's a little bit easier to project exactly how long these final things will take. But yeah, mainnet should be coming in the next couple months before the end of the year. We're really excited, and we just hope that more people can kind of jump on board, give us some feedback, and help us make sure that mainnet is as successful as possible once we do get there. I guess that's kind of what the future is.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, sir, for answering all the questions, and also thank you for providing all the information about that. So I think we can take some question from the community. So people are waiting to ask you some question. First of all, I can take Astro. Hello, Astro.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Ask your question, please.
Yeah, so can you tell me about Clone Contributor Program? What's it all about and how does it benefit users?
Great question. Shifting gears kind of toward our marketing efforts, we have a few things going on right now. First off, I know you didn't ask about this, but we have a whitelist going. It's really easy to get involved. All you have to do is kind of follow our socials, join the Discord, and try out our front ends. And then at that point, you kind of get a new role in Discord, some early opportunities for mainnet as well as our clone token launch, and some NFT events that we're kind of thinking about doing once we're closer to mainnet. So yeah, lots of opportunity there. As for the contributor program, that's a little bit different. Our contributor program, we're kind of planning to roll out in phases, although a lot of this is subject to change. The initial plan is to roll out the program specifically for kind of, I guess, social contributions as well as maybe artistic contributions. So kind of what we're looking for mainly at the early stages of the contributor program are feedback, kind of some maybe analysis of the protocol, artistic suggestions that we might take into account. And if we feel like your contribution is useful, we plan to compensate you guys with USDC in the early days, eventually clone token once it's launched. We'll have to decide what we'll do kind of before the clone token launch happens. So more than likely it will be a USDC reward at first, but yeah, that'll be the idea. Just kind of helping give back. What our goal is to give back to the community, and just kind of inspire more people to not only check us out and join our community, but even more importantly, give us feedback and kind of help us improve ourselves and just contribute ideas, because obviously we know you guys all probably have your own ideas and perspectives, and yeah, that's kind of what we're looking to go like get into with the contributor program.
Okay, thank you, Astor, for your question. I hope that you got your answer actually. And also, next one I can take Mortal. Hello, Mortal.
Yeah, hello.
Immortal.
So I just wanted to know, I saw that you have a borrow system. So can you tell us something about it? If someone failed to repay the loan, is there any insurance program available?
Here, just to confirm, it sounds like you're asking about what happens if a user fails to properly manage a Comet liquidity position and gets liquidated, or are you asking about borrowing? Can you confirm that, Mortal?
Yeah.
All right. So if you're asking about liquidation with the Comet liquidity system, basically, so I touched on a little bit about how you have a health score that reflects the kind of health of the position. To go into a little bit more detail there, what the health score actually does is it kind of uses a bunch of different variables to basically predict the likelihood of the position becoming quote unquote dangerous. So what that looks like in the calculation is in our docs, which you can access through our website. It basically takes into account whatever the volatility is of the assets you're providing liquidity to, as well as the amount of impermanent loss you have realized on your position. So basically, yeah, like you said, if you're unable to kind of pay off that debt that you kind of receive from impermanent loss over time, that can accumulate and lead to your health score going down. And then once that health score, if the health score were to reach zero, meaning you were unable to properly manage your position and you're now subject to liquidation, we have this whole other set of logic where liquidators can come in. We have a liquidation script written up in-house and plan to eventually make that open source so that our community can help us liquidate these positions. But basically, a liquidator comes in, removes the liquidity from one of the pools you're providing to, pays off some of your debt, and then receives some reward from your collateral that will still maintain a healthy position score, but will kind of compensate them for that action. So I guess that's kind of what the process looks like.
Okay, Mortal. Hope that you got your answer.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Of course.
thank you, Mortal. And don't forget to follow their social link and join. Next one is Maria. Hello, Maria.
Hello, Mishu. Thank you for bringing me up here. So my question is this: do you have any plans of migrating or expanding to other blockchain network in the nearest future? And can you tell us how we can get your whitelist?
Yeah, for sure. That's a fantastic question, and we have asked ourselves similar questions in the past regarding, Solana network as a technology as a technology infrastructure is, in my personal opinion, one of the best that is out there. And there has been some hardships within the network, with like the FTX crisis that happened. And we definitely went through phases where we asked like, hey, do we have to move out of Solana network? Um, And the question, sorry, and the answer for that question in a short term, is no. Our focus will be on Solana network. We haven't had any day in our career developing developing clone in Solana where we have doubted the technology. There's so many fantastic protocols that are building within Solana as well. The user experience on Solana, thanks to the low cost of transaction and the transaction bandwidth, is just unmatched with some of the other technology infrastructure that is out there. And you must have heard of the fire dancer innovation that is coming to Solana that theoretically is going to enable Solana network to output to up to 1 million transactions per second, which is a number that is, I'd say, quite impossible to some of the other technology infrastructures that is out there, right? So, definitely in the near future, we don't plan to diversify our efforts, but instead just focus on one network, which we really have a strong belief on, which is Solana network. But in the future, in the long term, that is hard to say, right? We may outgrow the Solana network itself, and we may want to look into some of the other networks out there that are also catching up on the user experience side. And then, yeah, in that case, yes, we will be looking for some of the other infrastructures out there.
And I'm gonna jump in and answer the second part of your question about the whitelist. Very easy. Follow us on Twitter, join the Discord, and kind of just try. All we ask is to try out clone markets, clone liquidity. In order to be eligible, you have to just make a trade on clone markets and then set up your Comet and try to provide liquidity on clone liquidity. Both these things combined will just take a minute or two. So very easy to get involved with the whitelist. And then in the Discord, you'll see where you can kind of create we have a forum available where you can just kind of submit a form with all kind of showcasing your wallet address and everything, and then yeah, you'll know that we've seen you and that you're officially whitelisted once you get the Cosmic Officer Discord role, which might take a little because we have a lot of people applying to the whitelist, and it takes a little bit to sift through them. But don't worry, if you kind of go through those steps, we'll make sure you're taken care of.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Maria, for your question. Next one, Nora. Hello, Nora. Are you there?
Yeah. So my question is, I was trying to go through Clone's website to get more details about them. So I didn't really see anything about the team. So if you can enlighten us about the team. And also, I was trying to open the app, like to download the app. I don't know if can the app be used on a mobile device? Because I was showing it on the
So I did.
Yeah, I was going
I
to the
heard two.
website. I went to the website, so I didn't really see much information about the team in the projects. And also, I was trying to open the app on my mobile phone, but I was having some restrictions. I could not really go into it mostly. So it was more like asking me to use it on a wider screen. So I wanted to know if the app is available for mobile or it's just maybe for laptops.
Yeah, great question. Currently for Clone, both of the apps, Clone Liquidity app and Clone Markets app, is currently web app. So it's not a mobile native app, so you can find it on let's say Apple Store or Google Play Store. It is web app based, and currently we are only supporting laptop, so definitely nothing that's going to be a small screen. But down the road, as we continue to develop and expand the clone apps capability, yeah, we will be supporting mobile down the road. But currently, please really apologize. It is only available for larger screen experiences, like on a laptop or a PC.
And then to continue on there, it sounds like the first part of your question was about our team. So basically, to
Yeah.
give you a little bit more of a glimpse toward our team structure. Obviously, Ku and I are founders, but we also have two incredible core developers working with us. So one of them, whose name is Aaron, was brought on specifically for back-end work, but more recently is kind of in charge of our entire engineering effort. He's an amazing, incredible developer, and he's helped turn kind of what I built as kind of a little bit messy prototype with a few bugs in it to just an incredibly scalable and efficient smart contract, just super clean, and couldn't have done it alone without him. So he's great. And then one of our other core developers is named Brian. He works primarily on the front end. Without Brian, we were struggling to get together a prototype like you can see on DevNet that where we can showcase kind of all our hard work to the community. But Brian almost single-handedly has helped us create beautiful front ends based off of Ku's designs, and kind of bring those ideas and those visions to life. So our team is small. We try to stay small and nimble, especially in these early days. But we're a team of 4 really committed and talented people, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of a sense of kind of who's behind all of this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Nora, for your question. And next and the last one is Vanquist. Hello, Vanquist.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, ask your question, please.
Yeah. What is the unique feature of the CAF that powers clone exchange, and how does it contribute to scalability and efficiency?
Good question. So basically, at the forefront of our values, scalability and efficiency is everything. Because again, we noticed the kind of failure of synthetic assets to be scalable and to expand to markets quickly, which I think is what users kind of more or less demand now if they want to get true utility from these platforms. So there's a few critical decisions that we made in order to prioritize scalability and efficiency. The first and most obvious is just choosing Solana. The unmatched transaction speed and cheapness of those transactions on Solana allow for really effective price pegging and arbitrage execution. So that's really going to help propel us to maintain really high standards of pegs. So that's one really important choice. The second choice that we made, which is another pretty obvious one, is just the invention of the Comet Liquidity System. We created a completely brand new AMM design as well as kind of conceptual idea of how liquidity position can work, all with the goal of creating not only efficient AMMs that adapt to Oracle prices on demand and can quote prices immediately for traders, but also AMMs that require low capital requirements and allow us to scale the new pools quickly. Because again, any of you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but we expect that any user who's interested in a kind of cloned asset, synthetic asset type of exchange, they want more assets on Solana, as many as possible, so that they can trade all in one place. And the reality is that if you just have a couple of assets, like less than a perpetual protocol, there's really no reason for a user to come over and trade with your tokens. They may as well potentially use perpetuals where they can maybe take higher leverage. But on Clone, because of our scalability and efficiency of our liquidity system and building on the Solana blockchain, we expect to be able to expand to more markets than really anyone. And then we expect the people to use our platform are people not only who want to trade kind of everything all in one on Solana, but additionally, we expect people who kind of are looking just for deep liquidity on Solana. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are avid Solana users, but a big problem on Solana, at least right now in this kind of period of lower liquidity, is assets like wrapped Ethereum or wrapped Bitcoin. They just don't have very liquid markets, so they're not really super obtainable for a regular user on Solana. Because of, again, our liquidity efficiency and capital efficiency, wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Solana and wrapped ETH will immediately become readily tradable on our platform when we launch. And it doesn't end there. Any token that we can bridge over to Solana can turn into a cloned asset with deep liquidity. And yeah, we just hope to scale and bring and really kind of help realize the true potential of the Solana blockchain.
Yeah, thanks very much.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you, Evan Cois, for your question, and don't forget to join. So thank you, every participant, like for your asking. And as you know, this is not possible to take everyone through this email. We have some kind of restriction on that. So, sir, we have to wrap up this segment. But before that, is there anything you want to share with our community, like anything important news?
Yeah, just one quick thing, I guess. I've kind of already touched on that our DevNet's launched in the whitelist program and all that. So please check that out. But I guess one thing that I'd like to add is I know, again, we weren't able to kind of answer all of your questions, but if you do have more questions, I'll be in the Discord all day today and pretty much all day every day, ready to answer any of your questions. So don't hesitate if you got anything on your mind, you're wondering anything, and you think you might not be able to ask now that we didn't call on you. That's not true. Just join the Discord, ask in the general channel anything you want, and I'd be more than happy to help give you more information and kind of give you more insights into how Clone works. So yeah, I guess that would kind of be my parting thoughts. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and really hope you guys can give us some feedback on DevNet, because yeah, we're just looking to make our platform as usable and as fun to use as possible. Ku, any final words?
Yeah. Really, just to add on top of what you said, just definitely try out what we have built. It's super easy, right? Definitely, it's um, and I think I'm also very proud to say that Solana user experience is so great. And if you haven't used Solana before, this is a perfect time to kind of join. This is all not a real money. It's all fake money, say fake tokens. So nothing to lose. Really, a lot of learnings that you can just take out from using our platform. And it's again super easy, so it doesn't hurt at all. So definitely give it a try. And if you have any feedback, feel free to leave it to us on Discord. We'll be happy to answer any questions there. Yeah, and thanks ahead of time for being part of this journey super early.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, sir, for your precious time to your community and also people. I would like to say, make your own research to know more about clone, and also rather than if you have any more question and query, you can ask on the Telegram, Twitter, and other social media actually. And stay tuned with them, support them. Yeah. Thank you, sir, once again for your time, and thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks, Mishu. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.